Hey guys, Chart Stoppers back with another video. In this channel we take a look at different stocks and map out their key support and resistance areas on their chart. It's important to know these areas before buying any stock, and it's also important to know what kind of a trend a stock is in before you buy into it. Support and resistance is one of the most important things you should know about a stock before you either buy or sell. And also, if you're doing any day trading, swing trading, or options trading, you're definitely going to want to get familiar with support and resistance and this channel. And just to let you know, I am not a financial expert. These videos are for educational purposes only, but I am here to point out key factors on the charts which do impact the price action of a stock. I also provided a link in the description for Webull. You could use that to start an account and get 2 free stocks. I also provided a link for Robinhood. You could go ahead and use that, start an account, and get 1 free stock. And just to let you know, we will be doing 3 videos per week on 3 different stocks. So if you have a recommendation for a video, leave a comment below and I will try to get to it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content here. Okay, so let's get into the market today. Today is Monday, July 19th, 2021. And as you can see, it is a rough day in the market today. The S&P 500 is down almost 2% at the time of this recording. The Dow Jones is down 2.5% at the time of this recording. And the NASDAQ down 1.5% here. And you could see here, after the weekend, we saw a lot of selling last week, and this week it looks like it is going to continue with the fears of the Delta variant of the coronavirus coming back. So you could see big sell-off at the opening, little bit of recovery, and now the market is selling back off, and it looks like we are coming off of those lows again right now, but we'll see what the rest of the day brings us. Okay, so I wanted to get into the stock I wanted to talk about today. It is Chargepoint. I have had a couple requests about this one lately, and I just recently did a video a couple weeks ago on this one, but I did want to update here as a lot has changed in the stock, but I will provide a link in the upper right hand corner to that video if you want to go back and check that out. Okay, so today Chargepoint is currently trading at $23.16 at the time of this recording. It's up 30 cents on the day, which is the equivalent of 1.35% so far. But in the past week here, this stock has dipped about 14.5%, a little over 14.5%. It's down over the past week. In the past month, it's down almost 30% at 29.7%. In the past 3 months, it's still up 3.6%. And in the past year, it is still up almost 130%. So you're still doing good if you bought in a year ago around these levels back in around September of last year before it really started to take off here. But in the past months, the past couple months, since about the beginning of this year, this stock has been falling rapidly, and we've seen a lot of volatility in this stock here. You could see it did hit a 52-week high over here, and this was on December 24th of 2020. It hit a 52-week high of $49.48, so almost hitting $50 here, coming from around $10 stock. It was a SPAC when it came out. And that's why it started off around $10 here, and it shot all the way up to almost $50. But you could see on the way up here, not a lot of consolidation, a lot of gaps left behind, and I've talked about this on my previous videos here. When you see a stock go shoot straight up like this, leaving a lot of gaps and no consolidation on the way up, you're going to have a reversal eventually, and it's going to come back down and consolidate in those areas that it did not on the way up, and also fill those gaps in here that it left behind. So no surprise, this one came back down to fill those gaps in, and we've seen, it's almost like a roller coaster ride with this stock lately, because you could see it's come down, shot up, come down, shot up again, and now it's coming back down here. So let's take a look at the chart. One thing I wanted to point out is in the past week, they announced a share offering, which has caused the stock to dramatically sell off. As you could see, this was the end of June here, beginning of July. It was trading around $36 here. And you could see right now we have dropped drastically down to around $23, where it looks like we're bottoming out, but we're not sure yet. We'll watch it this week to see what's going to happen, if it's going to sell off even more. But this share offering has really hurt them in their share price here, dropping almost $13 here. So let's take a look at their chart. You could see here, top resistance point, $26 and around 25 cents. That's where it needs to close above eventually if it wants to move back to new highs here. We've never been able to close above that area. You could see we went above there intraday. We did open the day above there the next day after hitting that 52-week high, but it did sell off promptly and close below that area. So that's where we need to get to. You could see it tried to hit that area again right here and sold off after that. And then right around here, we had support around $36.85. You could see a little bit of support. It tried to hold up there, couldn't hold that area, and sold off after dipping below there, okay? And then we get to a point where between $20 and $36.85, we did not have any support on the way up. So that's why you saw this thing drop so dramatically after we lost this support area. You could see it tried to consolidate here and hold that area, but it just couldn't with this correction that we had in the NASDAQ around the end of February into March. So that's where you saw a lot of these stocks get crushed here, and this one was no different. We dropped all the way down to our next support at $20, and that's where we have pretty strong support here, okay? You could see we've hit this area a couple times. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times here we've gotten to that area around $20, and we've had a nice bounce each time we've hit that area. So that is where the buyers come in around $20 when they see this getting close to there, and they start buying up this stock, and it causes it to go on a nice little bull run there, okay, before selling off again. So that's our very strong support there. You could see I had my trend line, this red line here, which was acting as resistance. The stock failed to break out of that trend line for a while here from, looks like February to around the middle of May. It finally broke out, and you could see we had a very nice run here once we broke out of this trend line, and the trend line followed our 50-day moving average on the daily chart very closely. So you could see once we broke out of there, we had a very nice upside right there, and you could have made a lot of money trading that. So that's why you got to always watch out for your trend lines. Make sure they're mapped out properly, and watch for a breakout on those trend lines, because you can make a lot of money trading that breakout there. That's what I always recommend on my videos, okay? And as you can see, we still are on an uptrend, even though this stock has fallen significantly. You could see my green uptrend line, and it goes back to around September of last year, 2020, okay, when it started to break out there. And you could see we've hit off this trend line a couple times, each time bouncing nicely off there. And right now, actually today, we actually hit off this trend line, and it did have a nice bounce. It did dip below there briefly, but after that, a lot of buyers came in seeing that it might be bouncing off of the trend line and are buying it up. And hopefully this is the sign of a reversal right here, and this stock starts a new uptrend after having their share offering drop the price dramatically in this stock price. Okay, so let's just switch over to our weekly chart here. And as you could see on the weekly chart, you could see a better look at our trend line here. Not so much craziness going on like in the daily chart. And as you could see, we had a nice bounce off there today. We'll see what the rest of the week holds, but we are below all of our moving averages on our weekly chart here. You could see we dropped below our 50-day moving average last week, and we closed below there. So we're going to need to regain that and also regain the rest of our moving averages if we want to see more upside here. Okay, let me switch over to the 4-hour chart, because there's not much going on the weekly chart. See what we could find there, and it looks like today at least the 8-day moving average, well, not just today, going back to before this thing sold off, is acting as resistance. This white line here is my 8-day moving average. You can see I've highlighted it right there, and that is acting as resistance going back to the beginning of July. So we need to get above there and hold above there to start a new uptrend here. Okay, so that'll be first and foremost very important to get above that white moving average, that 8-day moving average, and then we can go from there, hitting our other moving averages, which we are below here. You can see my 21-day moving average here in the light blue, my 30-day in the green, and my 50-day in the dark blue, and this is my 200-day moving average in the yellow there. Let me zoom out so you could get a better look at that. And that's what we're going to need to do. We need to get above that 8-day first and then recapture all the other ones. Okay, switching back over to the daily chart. One more thing I wanted to point out. I'm just going to, let's see here. I'm going to throw the RSI up so you guys could take a look here. And as you can see, this is in oversold territory here. This is where we're at right now on our RSI. And you can see every time it gets to this area here, these are the bottoms of our downtrends, okay? And when it sells off and gets down to this area, you can see every time it gets down here, you know, we do go on a little bit of a run and have a nice uptrend after that. So this would be a perfect time to buy this stock actually, and you know, ride it up for a nice swing trade, or if you want to start grabbing calls here. I think most of the downside is gone. You might have a little bit more sell-off, if anything, to $20. But I think if it did get down to that area, you know, a lot of people would come in and buy this stock and push it higher. So I think personally it's going to hold this trend line here, this green trend line, and move up from here. I think it's going to reverse after hitting that trend line, which is held up for since last September here. So that should be it with the sell-off, and the RSI is showing that it is oversold. So just keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on our charts here for the rest of the week. Like I said, if we get over that 8-day moving average on our 4-hour chart, we'll be looking good. I also wanted to, let's draw a trend line here. You could see, I'm just going to draw a little downtrend here, and you could see we've been stuck in that for a while. That should follow our 8-day moving average on our 4-hour, or let's see here. That should follow our 8-day moving average on our 4-hour chart, this trend line I'm drawing, just to show you. Whoops, I did the wrong line there again, and let me just change this to red so you can see it is a downtrend. And I think, you know, if we do reverse here and we break out of this trend line, we should be good for a nice little swing trade here, moving back to the upside, hopefully back up to this area around 36.85. So I would, you know, keep an eye on this trend line. Keep an eye on your 8-day moving average if you don't want to draw a trend line. That should follow it closely here. As you can see on the 4-hour chart, my trend line does follow that pretty closely there. So just keep an eye on all that. And once you see it break this trend line, you'll know the uptrend is confirmed and the downtrend is broken. Okay, so I'll be watching that also. And that's about it for this one. If you guys did like the video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content here. And we will see you next time on Chart Stoppers.